there was something that you and we had a conversation not too long ago. And it was really eye-opening to me. I was like, we have to have this conversation on the podcast. Like, we must have this specific conversation on the podcast. And it was basically what I was saying is like, in my experience, the carriers don't want us to text, right? And you're like, well, actually, that's not accurate. So can you share with me your perspective on the carriers, what the carriers want?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's two ways of looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you look at the CTIA guidelines and you read through those, right, it should be 100% opt-in,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there are 23 billion text messages being sent every day.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of that do you think are not opt-in, that fall into like a marketing bucket, right?
Yeah,
I don't
billions.
know. I don't know the percentage, but it's in the billions.
Yeah.
Right. So, and each one of those billions of messages comes with a per message cost.
Mm-hmm.
So the carriers are making literally billions of dollars off of these outbound messages,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they need to find a center point
Mm-hmm.
between being able to scale up and grow themselves and to really enable people to send messages,
Mm-hmm.
but also respect the recipients and have a system where it's trending towards a much higher level of opt-in. It's
Mm-hmm.
trending towards more and more wanted messaging. And they need to find that balance, right, between profitability and user experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in your campaign able to earn them some money without disrespecting the recipients,
Yeah.
you're going to be fine, right? It's people that stray from that balance that they're
Mm-hmm.
looking for of profitability and user experience. If you break user experience, you're going to get slapped on the wrist
Mm-hmm.
or shut down,
Right.
right?
So
it's a pretty simple bargain.
it's in the carrier's best interest financially
Mm-hmm.
for text messages to occur.
Yes.
It is not in the best interest for their shareholders if all their users are pissed.
Exactly. Right.
So we're suggesting here, we're
Mhm.
not stating this, we're just suggesting that the carriers are okay with some sort of gray area where there's a healthy balance between not pissing off their users and they're complaining all day, but we're still sending text messages.
Yes.
And we need to find how to stay in this healthy medium.
Yeah, and look, what we do that I think is really in advance of what anyone else is doing is from an engineering perspective.
Mhm.
We put a ton of focus on the recipient experience. And so we do a lot, like things that sometimes real estate investors find as like gatekeeping, where you can send an initial message and then you can't send a follow-up for a certain amount of time,
Mhm.
right? It's because if we don't do that, to be quite honest, people abuse the system
Mhm.
and they send.
We are not a compliant group of people.
Right. And I wanna start to change that
Yeah.
because the truth is, we say this all the time. Anybody that's gone through onboarding with us will back me up on this, right?
Mhm.
But like all of the money comes from the inbox, not from the messages that you're sending in the batches. It comes from the people that respond. Right. Like I really hate this old adage of like, well, how many texts to a deal? What do you mean? Like if you're good, 10.
Mhm.
If you're really bad at it, 5,000. Right? It's not a simple number equation. What it is a question of your ability to engage.
If you enjoyed what you just watched, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video.